These are the stories of America's crime-fighting nerve centers.
Seen a suspicious person.
Surveillance video. Tracking system.
Suspect was last seen leaving the rear entrance of the club.
Facial recognition. And gunshot detectors. It all comes in here.
The Real-Time Crime Center has helped to revolutionize how we investigate cases.
So police can solve crimes out there. Right now on Real-Time Crime. In Farmington, New Mexico, police chased down 2 men after a brazen daytime shooting.
There were numerous gunshot wounds to his body.
High-speed pursuits are one of the most dangerous things we do. If he's gonna fight, it's gonna happen now.
Farmington Police Department, show me your hands!
Show me your hands!
And in Lee County, Florida, a series of violent robberies leads to a county-wide manhunt.
He said, sit on the ground. He showed me the gun.
Dangerous suspect like that, they don't care who they have to hurt just to get away.
It was all hands on deck attempting to locate him.
Now he's behind 12590.
Before anybody gets shot, we need to catch this guy.
Chopper 1, he sees you, he's running.
Farmington is a small community, is a good place to raise kids. We have a lot of cultures here. The crime rate is pretty general compared to bigger cities. We average around 3 to 7 murders in a year. Most of the crimes that our patrol officers deal with would be responding to our homeless community, also people who are impaired by alcohol, trespassing or shoplifting or causing a disturbance.
To help combat crime, Farmington Police developed a real-time crime center.
Initially, cameras were placed at major intersections of Farmington, and then they progressively started to add more cameras to each intersection. We have a little over 800 cameras. We could have eyes on individuals involved in a fight, business alarms where there's a possible breaking and entering, vandalisms which occur throughout the city. We could relay all that information to responding officers. The Real-Time Crime Center is a huge success. So on July 23rd, 2022, I was operating the Real-Time Crime Center.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
It's at the Safeway gas station on Main Street. Some kids just shot a guy. They're getting into a blue Ford Ranger pickup in the Safeway parking lot.
With active shooters on the loose, Farmington's Real-Time Crime Center tracks movement across the parking lot.
I have the ability to select and choose cameras. So the camera located at 30th Street and East Main is a point-to-zoom camera, a PTZ camera. We're able to zoom in and manipulate the camera. We're able to follow specific vehicles should we need to. We're able to zoom in and magnify on license plates. I started to manipulate the cameras and I could see individuals walking around in the area. There was a lot of foliage in the area where I was trying to locate the victim involved in the shooting. I did not see any active shooters, but I could see 2 people running across in the area. I was able to see a blue Ford Ranger leaving the area. I continued to follow the vehicle, providing real-time information as the vehicle continued eastbound towards the intersection of 30th and East Main Street. I could relay information from the cameras to my patrol officers.
Oh, some kids just shot someone? What the? Holy smokes.
When you hear active shooter dispatch, there's a massive adrenaline dump right off. You just zone in. And I'm running lights and sirens, swerving around cars, trying to also read this information to get any idea of what the suspect is.
Real-time crime center, go ahead. 408-73, Blue Ford Ranger just passed me, occupied 2 times, and is currently eastbound Main from Herrera.
Our TCC was able to coordinate real quick and give information out. Suspects are leaving in a blue Ford pickup. It's not easy to turn or whip around on cars or maneuver through traffic, especially at high speed.
I continued to follow the vehicle with the camera located at 30th and East Main, where I relayed the information to Officer Silver.
Go to the victim. We'll try and make 2-5 car.
I'm direct. I'm pulling up 97 at Safeway right now.
I'm trying to catch up with this blue pickup. So I was able to go as fast as possible and not worry too much about, I wonder if he peeled off or not.
Real-time crime center, go ahead.
Your red light at 20th, approaching Main at 30th.
As officers close in on the blue pickup, real-time crime center operators make a terrifying discovery.
There was a young male operating the vehicle and was smoking a cigarette, and the second individual was a young male lying down at the bed of the truck.
The man has a clear shot at oncoming patrol cars.
I relayed the information to Officer Silver.
I don't know if he's armed or not, and if I get behind him, honestly, could just sit up and open fire. High-speed pursuits are one of the most dangerous things we do. It was catch him or he gets away.
The pursuit continues through rush hour traffic.
Now, westbound on 30th.
Utilizing the PTZ cameras, I was able to manipulate the cameras and continue to follow the vehicle as it turned westbound on 30th Street.
When the truck finally came to a stop, all the emotion, all the adrenaline, it kind of comes to a peak. It's happening. If he's going to fight, it's going to happen now.
315, finally stop the vehicle at Rocinante.
But I was thinking, all right, here we go.
Farmington Police Department, show me your hands!
Show me your hands!
Hands out the window! Stick your hands out of the window! Occupant in the back of the pickup truck! Sit up! Stand up! Stop where you're at! You, sir! Turn around, both of you, face away!
He put his hands up, and then so did the person in the back with the truck, which is a huge relief. You're like, all right, I'm probably not going to have to shoot these guys.
Walk back towards me! Keep walking! Keep walking! Stop! Take 3 steps to your left, man. 3 steps to your left. 1, to your left. 1, 2, 3. Negative cooperating.
But when I finally had him in cuffs and got him in the back of my car, I identified the suspect as Guillermo Aguirre. He kept on making a bunch of statements.
I was just trying to help the homeless. This guy starts throwing rocks at me, hits me in the back of the head. I acted in self-defense. I should not have used my firearm. I felt threatened.
Okay.
I've been trying to get my GED so I could become a part of Farmington PD, but...
That'd have been cool, dude.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
I remember asking me questions, hey, do you think this would impact my career to be a cop? He felt like he had to do it.
Calling the police is always a good idea if you're worried about something.
Almost apologizing, like he knew he had messed up, but he didn't want to appear guilty. Like he was trying to convince me that he wasn't the bad guy.
Come on, baby. There we go. All right, you can step out.
Sir! Sir!
At the crime scene, officers attend to the victim.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. God damn it. Okay, back up, okay? Back up, okay?
20th,
Okay.
Main at 30th.
Sir, are you okay?
Westbound on 30th.
Are you okay? Medics 1018, Mel does not appear to be breathing. I'm right at the entrance to Safeway by the gas pumps. Medics 1018, please. Multiple gunshot wounds.
I've been with the police department for approximately 15 years. The information I had on my way to the scene was 1 individual was deceased and 2 male suspects were detained and located at the Farmington Police Department. As I approached, the body was partially inside the parking lot of Tomo's restaurant.
Did they say shots fired?
After speaking with some of the officers who were familiar with the victim and locating the ID in his pockets, we were able to identify the victim as Mr. Brandon York. I observed numerous gunshot wounds to his body. I would say there was 4 to his upper back area. I remember seeing at least 2 on his left leg. And there was 1 on each arm.
Just double check.
While processing the crime scene, we were able to locate the shell casings.
So I've had 4 total.
Yes, there's another. Joey found another one, but.
Okay.
We were unable to locate a firearm.
9.
Okay.
9.
Detective Bedoni advised that he was getting ready to interview 2 male subjects involved in the shooting.
So on July 23rd, I got called about this shooting investigation, and I went straight to the detective building.
You all right, man?
My main goal was to speak with the shooter.
Let me get some photographs of you.
When I first started speaking with Guillermo Aguirre, he was cooperative.
I really should have never had my gun on scene, period. I should have went out there with my taser. I should have walked away. That is very unfortunate that he's deceased, and that's going to be a lot of recuperation now. I'm going to have to deal with that my entire life.
Okay.
I can't handle it. At least right now I can. I can't believe I was murdering somebody.
Guillermo Aguirre told me that he acted in self-defense, and that's the reason why he shot Brandon York.
And he's all, well, what the heck? What the f*** are you going to do with that? That's when he decided to pick up piles of rocks. Start throwing them.
He advised me that he hires homeless people in this area.
I could try to get these people involved in landscaping even once. Maybe I can get them to work. So what I did is I went over there and I tried to get everybody to work. You know, I said, hey, look, I'll pay you all $100 each. Stood up and I went over there with the native man. At first, you know, he started yelling, started really, you, this and that, you're just being awful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was about to walk away, but then I stood there when the guy started to get aggressive.
So in this case, the argument between Brandon York was about a shopping basket and its contents were some stuff we're throwing in and out of it. After this argument kind of escalated, Guillermo Aguirre took it upon himself to confront Brandon York.
I felt in danger. Okay, that doesn't matter right now. Now, as soon as he hit the floor, you know, obviously, I went up, didn't know if he was going to get up, so I just popped off 3 more rounds, okay? And after that, as soon as the rounds hit, aiming for the legs, center mass.
What I do know about Brandon York, with information provided by friends and family, is he was not Native American. And he did have an issue with alcohol, and also he was struggling with some mental health issues. So it was my responsibility to contact friends and family.
It really hit me knowing that it was Brandon. I didn't think he was going to be gone that soon. He was always nice to me. You know, he was never angry with me. I'd never seen the bad side of him. He was a good guy to me, you know, just like a brother. I work here in the local area, and my job is to house participants that come into our program. We get referrals from local entities that do work with homeless people, and those are diagnosed with mental illness. One of them was Brandon. Well, I knew he was trying to move ahead for a better life than where he was at. One day I called him, and we met up. He was looking for a 1-bedroom apartment. We sat down, we talked, and I asked him, I said, I think now's the time that we can house you. So when the landlord approved him, he looked at me and gave me the thumbs up. He was like happy, and then the landlord went back to his vehicle, got the key out, and gave it to him, and he clinched that key. He was, wow, I got an apartment. I said, yeah, you do.
Guillermo Aguirre told me that Brandon York had picked up rocks and was throwing rocks at people.
Could you do me a favor if you threw rocks, and where were the rocks hitting you? The backside?
Yes, sir. They're hitting
That
me
was
right here and there. There's about 2 or 3 of them that hit me right here in the back of the head.
So the
It
angle.
caused me to lose balance a little bit because it hit the part that connects the brain to the spine, so it kind of caused me to lose balance a little bit. It knocked me, kind of almost not unconscious, but to the point to where it was a large enough rock that was sharp enough to hit that off.
He was cooperative. He wanted to tell me everything from his perspective.
And then that's when that individual had been reaching around, and he said, you don't think I have a gun too? That's what I heard, okay? So he starts reaching around, and then in that instant, I felt threatened, and he's all, well, what the f are you gonna do with that? That's when he decided to pick up piles of rocks, started throwing them at me. He's throwing loads of rocks, edging closer, kicks that blue thing that goes flying, picks up more rocks. That's when I got hit in the head. I was able to handle that, but killed him. That's not what I was planning to do. I had no intentions to kill him.
He explained to me that after the shooting had occurred, his friend that he was with immediately started running to his vehicle, and that's why he also ran with him. That was his explanation of why he fled. In this case, I wanted to keep an open mind to see if Guillermo Aguirre had a self-defense claim and argument.
Detectives at the scene look for eyewitnesses.
Any death scene is emotional, especially when it's a death like this, with no explanation at the time, wondering what caused this.
I'm Detective Flova. I know it looks like you were just explaining what's going on to him.
I contacted one of the witnesses on scene and gathered information she was able to provide.
Come over here where it's a little bit quieter.
Detective Bedoni advised that Mr. Aguirre was saying that it was self-defense. I explained to him that we had a witness who witnessed the whole shooting from start to finish. It was captured on her cell phone.
So, like I said, I'm Detective Flova. So what can you tell me? What happened?
So I was coming to Thomas, and I pulled in from the turning lane here, and I heard the gentleman here tell him, leave me alone, you promised for me to slap you. And I just continued on my way, went and parked over in the red Toyota that's sitting over there in Thomas. Then I got down, and the guys were pushing him, and he was throwing rocks at him. And I hollered at him, leave him alone, you little punks.
Nobody deserves to be attacked by anybody, no matter what age they are. But especially an older person by somebody who is significantly younger.
And it wasn't stopping, so I pulled out my phone and started recording.
After we collect any video footage, we give a copy to the Real-Time Crime Center.
Hey! I got you on video!
I yelled out, I have you on video. He turned to run away, stopped and looked at me.
I got you on video!
I was very scared as I was walking towards them. I remember hearing anywhere between 8 and 9, possibly even 10 rounds being shot off. So as soon as I took a few steps back and he continued just running west towards the Safeway parking lot, without stopping, I went ahead and dialed 911, but also took off running towards him, behind him to follow, so I can kind of see what type of vehicle he was going to. I kept my distance pretty far, but I could still see him and a younger gentleman run and jump in a blue Ford Ranger pickup. They went northbound through the parking lot. From there, 911 had directed me to go back and check on the victim.
In watching this video, it was very tragic for myself and anybody who would witness someone to get shot like that in broad daylight. The video shows Guillermo Aguirre shoot Brandon York 1 round, and Brandon York immediately falls down. There was no warning prior to the gunshots. Shortly after, you hear audibly 8 to 9 rounds consecutively. And That's definitely not in self-defense. These actions were intentional. Watching the video, it was apparent that Guillermo was not truthful in what had occurred.
I acted in self-defense. I should not have used my firearm. I felt threatened.
Guillermo Gary did not show any remorse for this crime. In other cases I've worked, people would cry or get emotional. In this case, there was no emotions or tears.
Right in here.
At the conclusion of this investigation, I was able to charge Guillermo Gary for second-degree murder. Guillermo Gary entered a guilty plea for the second-degree murder of Brandon York, and this carries a sentence of 15 years.
I didn't do anything.
The second suspect isn't charged.
The best key evidence in any investigation is video evidence, because they don't take sides. It just paints a clear picture of the events unfolding. The RTC element to this case was important because it's given us a rundown of the location and direction of where Guillermo had went. And we were able to locate him and arrest him.
It makes me feel sad for everybody all around, because the young man who ruined his life by doing this, and the victim's family, they have to go on without him. No family and no parent should ever have to bury their child ahead of their time.
I go out to Bloomfield. I've housed another individual in that same apartment, and I think of Brandon. Or if I'm driving in Bloomfield, if I get a text from somebody, I say, oh, maybe it would have been Brandon if he was still around. Maybe he would have said, hey, thank you, Doug. It's hard to forget someone like him. They only cross your path once in a lifetime.
Lee County is one of the fastest growing counties in the country. Everybody wants to be here, not only for palm trees and beaches, but because they're safe and secure.
It's quite amazing to see the changes from when I was a kid to what it is now, and how we're evolving as a county and as a state, and more people are starting to move down here. Florida's a great place to live. There's certain neighborhoods that are worse than others, so you kind of hang out there to just try to prevent crime.
In today's day and age, we're faced with so many different obstacles, but if you really wanted success, you work smarter and harder. Working smarter for me means utilizing the latest and greatest technology to get the job done, and most importantly, keep the residents safe in Lee County.
RTIC is the Real-Time Intelligence Center. We have a lot of tools that we access to do our daily duties. We have the DOT videos from our intersections. We have the drones now. We have the aviation feeds that we can see. Being an analyst involves thinking out of the box. What tool can I use to get this situation solved in a timely manner?
What is your emergency?
Yes, we just got robbed.
Okay, where are you at?
I'm at 7-Eleven, 82 in Sunshine.
Were there any weapons involved?
Yes, the guy pulled out a gun.
So that night I was sleeping. My phone rings from the watch commander. He let me know that there was a 7-Eleven that was robbed in Lehigh Acres. I arrived at the 7-Eleven. I met with the store clerk. This interview is currently being recorded at 1626 Meadow Road, the 7-Eleven. Briefly describe the incident that occurred.
I heard the door sensor go off. First thing I noticed was the firearm he had by his waist. It had a silver top. Briefly told me, just give me what's in the register. Don't be dumb or stupid.
Coming out the bedroom, I noticed there was a black male standing at the cash register. I noticed there was a robbery. He said to me, get on the ground. He showed me the gun.
And opened up the register and gave him what was in there.
As soon as he got the cash, did he just leave?
Yes, sir.
67, Roger, 1867, correction.
Watching the video, you could see the suspect came in with a surgical mask on. He had a firearm silver. Once the suspect got the money, he was out of the store, and the whole thing probably lasted less than a minute or so. He was very confident, so in the back of my mind, I was always thinking that this guy's either done this before or he has a past of being involved with crime. I can only imagine what the store clerk was feeling. He was obviously frightened and scared, and he was shaking. But after watching the video, I immediately got it to the Arctic for processing. Hopefully see something I don't.
It turns out that before the 7-Eleven robbery, a call came in to 911 about another violent crime.
911, what is your emergency?
Yes, ma'am, I've been carjacked. He had a gun in his right hand. He had a mask on.
What kind of vehicle do you own?
I own a Honda Element.
Just before the robbery at the 7-Eleven, we got a call about a carjacking that had just occurred off of Cypress Lake Drive. This victim had just returned, pulled into his own driveway.
Parked my vehicle backwards, facing the road like I always do. At that time, I saw a gentleman right by my roommate's window. I saw a surgical mask, a hoodie, and black pants. In his right hand, a silver weapon. He said, "Turn the vehicle on and get out of your vehicle." Then he pulled off with my vehicle, heading westbound on Cypress Lake Drive.
Arctic plays a vital role in a case like this because we can give them the correct vehicle information, the tag.
We immediately went and entered that license plate number into our LPR system, our license plate reader, and anywhere that license would hit, we would get an alert.
Back in Lehigh Acres, Detective Rivera investigates the 7-Eleven robbery.
During the investigation, I received intel that there was a carjacking that occurred earlier that night. I asked the store clerk if there was video footage from outside of the store to see if the suspect arrived in a vehicle or left in a vehicle. When reviewing that footage, you could see the suspect arrive at the store in a silver vehicle. It was paramount that we get this footage to Arctic because backing into the space kind of can show the license plate.
At this point, we were like, could it possibly be the same subject that just did this carjacking, that's doing this robbery?
After reviewing that video, Arctic determined that that silver and color Honda Element was the same vehicle that was involved in the carjacking earlier that night. The suspect's already done an armed carjacking. He then proceeds to point a gun at a store clerk in a 7-Eleven for cash.
The mentality of a violent, dangerous suspect like that is they don't care what they have to do, they don't care who they have to hurt just to get away from law enforcement and not get caught.
My number one priority was trying to get the suspect before anybody's getting hurt or being shot.
Lee County, Florida investigators are hunting for a suspect wanted in 2 violent crimes. And soon, there's a third.
911, what is your emergency? Hi, yes, I'm at the 7-Eleven in Gateway. I just got robbed at gunpoint.
After 12 minutes of the first 7-Eleven that's been robbed, Arctic received another 911 call from a second 7-Eleven that was just robbed.
I just couldn't believe what was happening. Another robbery at a 7-Eleven. In this case, the 7-Eleven was over in Gateway Boulevard. That's just 20 minutes away from the first robbery.
A African-American male wearing a COVID face mask flashed a silver gun at me. He proceeded to follow me behind the counter where he had me pop my register. I pulled the cash out of the register and sat it on the counter. And at that point, he told me to get on the ground face down. A few seconds later, he told me not to call anybody until after he left. I lay there for a minute and called 911.
The store clerk was petrified, and he didn't move for quite some time after the suspect left the store.
While reviewing the video, it led me to believe that we were looking at the same subject. Time is of the essence now.
He's pointing firearms at people, and he has no fear of putting others in danger. Everything is unpredictable at this point.
So the suspect has done 3 major crimes in the span of a few hours. It was all hands on deck, attempting to locate him, using all the resources we have as an agency. We need to catch this guy. So the Arctic would be watching all the traffic cams. If it goes through an intersection with license plate reader or intersection with cameras that the Arctic are monitoring, they'll get an alert.
We got a hit. The vehicle happened to pass the intersection of Daniels Parkway, and it immediately alerted the Arctic.
Arctic let us know that the vehicle had hit one of our LPR systems traveling on Daniels Parkway. Is working his way back towards our district now.
Central District deputies saturated the area and located the vehicle. Upon them trying to stop the vehicle with license sirens, the suspect refused to stop for them, and a pursuit was authorized.
Pursuits are dangerous in general, but now we have an individual armed with a firearm. He could crash out. He could just stop his car and start shooting.
So during the pursuit, the suspect lost control of his vehicle, spun out and into some shrubbery and bushes.
Well, we believe the car was still in drive when he jumped out of it and took off running from our deputies. The suspect ran into some bushes and just an unknown area. You know, it was almost 2 a.m. now, so very dark out. The potential for an ambush is much higher.
At this point, we're all kind of worried. We were worried for our deputies out on the road that were going to that scene.
As a supervisor on the shift, I contacted our watch commander, and the decision was made to have aviation respond to the area.
The helicopter, as it orbits over a scene at the altitude that we can, it's just like a bird of prey. One of our primary instruments that we use is a thermal imaging camera, and that picks up heat signatures from the ground.
One good thing about the chopper flare video is it can be broadcasted live to the Arctic.
They're able to direct us and let us know and give us live information, any potential hazards or concerns in the area where the suspect is hiding.
But we're getting very good at finding bad guys in the county.
The chopper searches near the suspect's abandoned car.
Oh, that was the car. Trying to clear the wide open areas first.
There's a lot of pressure. We need to locate our suspect.
Not long after taking to the air, chopper operators spot someone on the ground.
Is this one of our guys here? I don't know. Chopper 1, do we have a unit that's going to be just to the east of the crash in the next complex, walking through the parking lot?
No, I don't think so.
Chopper 1, it looks like he's got a backpack on. I can't make out much else. He is now behind 12630.
The suspect takes off running.
He's jogging now through the woods. Chopper 1, he's running northbound now. He's behind 12590. Just took his backpack off.
The deputy spots the suspect and draws his weapon.
Oh, hands up. He's running.
We weren't sure what his next step was going to be. We have to catch this guy.
Deputies and the aviation unit are after a man suspected of going on a dangerous crime spree.
Running south through the parking lot. He's on the south side of College Parkway.
West 30, I want College Parkway shut down.
He is making his way through that community.
The pilot spots the suspect in an apartment complex and guides deputies on the ground.
Chopper 1 making his way through Alouette Circle. He's still headed east-southeast.
The suspect tries to climb to the roof. Deputies close in for the second time.
Chopper 1 to the 2 deputies that are walking in that parking lot. Make your next right when you come around that corner. Chopper 1, units are making contact. He's laying on the ground.
Watch 36, we got on the team.
With the suspect in custody, the chopper directs deputies to a bag he discarded during the chase.
Chopper 1 at East 32. It's going to be about 20 feet to your right, about 2 o'clock.
10-4, got
it.
Deputies find cash inside the bag, and nearby they discover a silver handgun.
Once we got the suspect detained, he was identified as Devontae Edwards. When I first entered the interview room, Mr. Edwards was kind of fishing for information about why we have him detained.
He was playing innocent, so he was more than happy to give his name and act like he was just an innocent party that had no idea what was going on and why law enforcement happened to find him or look for him.
I was walking, and it was like, all of a sudden, everybody just started bum rushing me like, I don't know, it was dark. I got on black, so I hauled to feel me.
So a bunch of cops just started chasing.
Like, I don't know, I guess they had some other they was doing in the middle of, and I just got caught in the rapture of it, you feel me? So it was like...
Well, what do you think you got caught up in?
I don't know. Hell, that's why I was asking them, you feel me? That's why when they told me why I ran, hell, I was spooked.
Arctic provided me Edwards' criminal history. He was just released from prison, and he was currently on probation. While I was interviewing him, you could tell he's been in the interview room before because he wasn't nervous. He was very evasive. He would give half answers. He was basically playing dumb.
We have you on video. You get out of a stolen vehicle. You back into a parking spot at 7-Eleven, wearing what you're wearing right now. Walk into the store. You produce the firearm. You ask for cash from the register. Then you drive to another 7-Eleven. You proceed to do the exact same thing.
It's like, okay, you guys got video, all this extra you say you got. So it's like, okay, if you guys have all of that, ain't no need of me saying
It was hard for him to understand that he was caught. He just kind of was oblivious to what was going on. At no point he provided any motive or why he did what he did.
Damn right I feel bad. I gotta go to this deal with these. Damn right I feel bad. I feel aggravated as Hey, this where I'm at, so I'm adjust and get it over with. I'm adjust and get it over with.
So you're denying taking the vehicle?
Everything. Besides me running from them when they saw me and me not stopping then yeah, that's about the only thing that I can say that I did.
Edwards denies almost everything, but the evidence against him is overwhelming.
We had the 2 surveillance videos of the 7-Eleven robberies where he was wearing the same clothing. The vehicle that he was driving matched the exact same vehicle that he stole from the carjacking. The backpack that he removed after crashing his vehicle had the same amount of cash that was stolen from both 7-Elevens. The firearm that he had and used during all 3 robberies, where this is the same firearm described by all 3 victims. And the chopper video showed him doing everything he can to prevent himself from being detained and going back to jail. Edwards was eventually pled guilty for 25 years in state prison. He put a lot of people at risk that night. A bunch of Lee County Sheriff's Office deputies by making them go through a high-speed pursuit. He held 2 store clerks at gunpoint, and innocent people that were just doing their job at night, trying to make money for their families.
Our suspects proven that they don't respect life and property. All bets are off. Getting him off the streets so he can't hurt someone is critically important to do it as fast as possible.
The Arctic played a crucial role in the investigation. They linked the carjacking to the robberies. They established that it was one person doing all these crimes.
We have so many good tools in Arctic, and all of these tools we utilized on this case.
Had we gone back to old-fashioned police work, this could be a case that goes weeks, months, or years. Our population is growing, yet our crime keeps going down. And there's a reason for it, and it's called Arctic.
Next time on Real-Time Crime. In Charleston, South Carolina, a street brawl turns deadly.
The suspect is public enemy number 1.
And in Ogden, Utah, a crazed gunman is on the loose.
We know who did it. We just need to find them, and we need to find them quickly.